What's going on, everybody? Welcome. Happy Thursday, Submission Fishing Live podcast. Glad you could all join us. Hopefully, we got a good show for you guys today. Um, got lots of announcements, stuff going on, some kind of the direction of the channel with the jigs and the company, and just some stuff going on in my life that we're going to talk about. So we'll get into that, of course. We'll do the shout outs, the news, fishing reports, all that stuff first, and then we'll get into it. So, of course, if you guys have any questions, comments, let me know in the chat. If you guys have any fishing comments or need some knowledge, also, guys, utilize the chat. These guys, they know their stuff. Yeah, and let's get into it. Glad you could all be here. Benji, Tom Cotton Moreno, good evening, y'all from Bullhead. Welcome, Benji. Good to see you. Spinning Rut Rebel, Marvin. Oos, glad you could join us. Real time, glad you could join us. Hope the announcement isn't a typo. Salty Dangler, what's going on? Michael Tran, welcome. Chet, welcome to the show. Oscar, welcome. Captain Dan, Los Angeles Coliseum today. Greetings, event number 31, last one of the year. Time for more fishing. That's what I'm talking about. Can never have enough fishing. Glad you could be here, Captain Dan. Let's see. Oscar, what's going on, man? Glad you could join us. Manny Fresh, welcome. Iron Fish, Oos from Orange County. Doug Rubin, welcome. Sleepy RJ, welcome to the show. Nick Limbro, what's going on, man? Glad you could join us. Lalo Fish, welcome. Oos from San Jose. Man, we're all over the place. All over California today. Clickbait title. Right? Like, what is it? It's like, I'm in real trouble, guys. Or this is my last show. That's like what they... It's we got some weight behind this. It's not clickbait, I promise you. Leonard Oos, welcome to the show. Danny Perez, welcome. Jesse Vermette, Oos. See you in Washington soon. Benji Kim, what's going on? Glad you could join us. If you guys are on Instagram, I guess the mic's a little high for you guys. We're on YouTube if you want to come join us. What's going on, dude? Mel, what's up, man? Glad you could join us. If you guys want to hop in the chat and everything else, join us on YouTube. I usually don't keep the Instagram one too long, just to bring everybody into the Instagram, but enjoy it while it's on. Let's see here. Fishing news. We actually do have some stories today. Fresh and salty fries, welcome to the show. Glad you could join us. If you guys are new to the channel and you see people typing oos, it just means that they've liked the channel. So go, please hit that like button. Type oos if you did. I really appreciate it. It helps us out a lot. And I got some news stories. This one was actually from Captain Dan, who's in the chat. Captain Dan, I really appreciate you. He's always looking out for us on the show. I'll put the link in there. And this one is basically, see, I brought up the right one. Yeah, so CDFW announces $8.6 million in grant funding for improving boat access statewide. So this is pretty cool. I always like seeing our tax dollars and fees. I think this one's mostly funded by like fees and stuff, but looks like it's going into boating programs, waterways, and coastline. So it looks like supported federal funds to the U.S. Fish and Wildlife Service Sports and Fishing Restoration Program. Funds for the program come from revenue, via taxes on our sport fishing equipment, fishing tackle, pleasure boats, and a portion of the gasoline tax attributed to small engines and motorboats. The Boating Access Program provides funding for a broad range of access to facilities, associated amenities, and benefits recreational boaters. To find out more activities, please visit wildlife.gov. Yeah, so it looks like, from all I can tell, it's opening existing waterways. Looks like boat ramps, parking lots, stuff like that. So it doesn't look like anything major as far as like, them putting in new stuff as far as I can tell, but vegetation management for boater access, pump out facilities or vessels, for sanitary tanks, fuel docks for boaters. Oh, that's pretty cool. Portable water supplies for boaters, dinghy docks, launching and landing facilities for paddlecraft, non-motorized boats. So, kayaks, looks like paddle boarders, float turbers too. Outreach to boaters about available boating access and amenities. So it's pretty cool. We got a lot of waterways. It looks like freshwater and saltwater. And this looks like a push to at least, like, they're trying to get us our access back to it. And that's pretty cool. And even if they add a few more docks, That's pretty good. I mean, 8.6 million is not a huge amount, but anything we could take, that helps fishing and getting people on the waterways. I mean, that's still huge. Most of the time we're on here talking about news, and it's always the California is taking something away from us, but this is it's good stuff. Um, and it should be right. Like I said, if that's what we're paying for in fishing, tackle taxes and gas taxes from the fuel docks and stuff like that, that's where the money should be going, as far as I'm concerned. Let's see. Then we had another story. And this one actually is one for us. So this is a CDFW. County of San Diego brings Sacramento perch to Southern California to create future urban fishing opportunities. So this was pretty cool. I guess they're taking a perch that's in Sacramento. California Department of Fish and Wildlife, in partnership with the County of San Diego Department of Parks and Recreation, has introduced Sacramento perch to Lindo Lake in Lakeside in an effort to establish fish populations of Sacramento perch in Southern California to create a unique urban fishing opportunity in the future. So, as 37 juvenile Sacramento perch collected from Bridgeport Reservoir in Mono County were driven to Lindo Lake County Park and released August 10th into the recently restored and renovated Lindo Lake East Basin. Second stocking of Sacramento perch to Lindo Lake. So, they're trying to open a new fishery here. And I was seeing here, Sacramento perch are California's only native species of sunfish and the only native sunfish west of the Rocky Mountains. Once found in abundance within the Sacramento San Joaquin Delta and Clear Lake in Northern California, Sacramento perch have been displaced from the historical range as a result of competition from non-native sunfish, including bluegill, green sunfish, that were widely introduced to California in the 20th century. Yeah, so they're bringing in some new fish up from Northern California. So we'll see how that works out. If you guys know where Lindo Lake is, I don't know when this will be open. I don't know if they're letting the fish grow or when they open it up. It's probably down the line, I would imagine. But they're definitely dumping some fish in there. So good stories. I mean, both positive stories. We got a couple million going into getting people back on the water and then new fish species here in Southern California. So that's super cool. El Lorenzo, welcome to the show. Glad you could join us. Stephen Gage, welcome. Oh, you guys, did anybody get a letter from DGF in regards to their site was hacked? Personal information. I did today. I didn't hear about that. Man, that's crazy. Should have put that in the news for sure. That's nuts. Watch Sack Perch take over that lake. I was thinking, Kevin, that was pretty funny. I was thinking like the exact same thing. And it was funny how they're saying how the perch were like, they're getting pushed out because other competitive fish. But it's amazing how like the fishery is not what it used to be as far as like native fish. What is a native fish though? People bring stuff in and it's crazy. They become native fish, but it's like what was here at what point and what wasn't. It's everybody introduces stuff or monsoons bring stuff in and then the fish kind of stick around and yeah, it's kind of crazy. But yeah, I did think about that too. It's like, why do we bring them in? I guess why not? Interesting to see how it goes. Oh yeah, Doug was asking too. Did you hear about the security breach for the fishing and game? I did not hear about that. I wish I would have looked into that before. Curiously enough, that wasn't on the front page of their news site. I don't know why. Yeah, bringing the fish down. But the 10-gram assassin would wreck the sack perch. Probably would. Jeremy Oos, welcome to the show. Glad you could join us. Real Time says rockfish verification is real. I was stopped by 2 different game wardens out of Newport Beach. I was trolling, but they asked if I had depth finder on my kayak. Oh, really? Interesting. So they were out there enforcing the new rules because the nearshore rockfish is closed down. That's crazy. I've only been stopped by fishing him one time on the water. Only once. They always come up and try to talk to me, like when we're on the docks and stuff like that. Which you don't even like. Usually the surveyors, you actually don't even have to talk to those guys. But the actual game wardens, only like one time on the water, I've been approached by them. Corey King, Oos, welcome to the show. Glad you could join us. But yeah, that's interesting. Yeah, it is difficult to. It's like the only way they can really enforce it. What's Kevin saying? So the nearshore rockfish are, you can't fish them near shore anymore. Um, but I guess it would just be enforcing it like any other time. I guess you just don't want to have the fish on your boat, because if you catch them by bite, what they say is you can't target them, right? You can't keep them. Um, but how do you like not target? It's a hard thing to do. But even on the off times, even if you fish La Jolla, you can still fish for sand bass. You can still fish for halibut. Sand dabs are open. Sculpin, I think, right, and sheephead are open as well. So we've got all these species mixed in with it. But somehow, like, how do you enforce? Oh, I'm not fishing for rockfish. Like all the other fish live in the same areas as the rockfish. It's my advice: just throw the rockfish back. Um, and try to stay away from the rocks. I guess go look for some sand bass. I think just don't keep them would be your best bet. That's crazy. Went to yeah, Mexico's good. The slope. Remember, you can still catch your slope and shelf rockfish. So there's still lots of fish you can catch until the end of the year. You just can't be within that line that I had last week, like that imaginary line. What's going on, everybody on Instagram? If you want to come join us on YouTube, come say what's up. I'll probably shut this one down pretty quick. But yeah, fish reports. Fishing's still good, guys. If you want to get out there, yellowfin, like I said, have pushed in. Even the bluefin are pretty close. It's my understanding people are getting them really close to home as well. Um, just out here off of Oceanside where I'm at in Carlsbad. And I think I've heard about them at the 9, but bluefin are still everywhere. Yellowfin are coming in. Still some Dorado. Dorado thinned out a little bit, but it looks like the numbers were picking up. Last week, it looked like they really thinned down, but they're ticking up a little. So I don't know if the dodo numbers dropped because the yellowfin numbers are up, but overall still looks pretty good. So we're late in the season, almost in October, and fishing's still great. Spotted bait bass are still around, so that's looking good. Yeah, definitely get out there, guys. I mean, nothing looks like it's slowed down at all as far as fishing goes. Numbers are still great, so if you're going to get offshore, go do that. And even the dock stuff and the bays is really good. I'm seeing you guys posting a lot of pictures using the submission jigs and stuff, so I really appreciate that. And you guys are out there killing it. I think last weekend, man, it was like all day all I was doing was like sharing stories. You guys are out there just catching stuff on the jigs, so that's awesome to see. I love watching you guys get bit, man. Catching fish is great. Sacramento perch is tasty. Interesting. Have to try some out. Oh, Dave Rage caught 2 bluefin yesterday. Nice. What length trip did you go on, Dave? Was it a short one or a long one? Carl Black, Oos, welcome to the show. Doc Stalker, what's going on, dude? Glad you could join us. Good to see you back in the saddle. Do you recommend leaving the top hooks, and does the hookup ratio stay the same? For which species are you talking about, or just the jigs in general? Um, because it depends what you're fishing for. Like if I'm fishing bottom fish and rockfish, a lot of times I'll leave hooks on the top and I'll take the bottom hooks off. Same thing with like bays too. Like our smaller ones only have the top hooks on them. They don't have actual bottom hooks. And that helps. For these are so small because you only want the 2 set, but it also helps not snag the jig. Whenever you got bottom hooks, especially rockfish, when you know your fishing structure, you probably don't need the bottom hook as much if you're worried about getting them lost. But then people fish tuna, they don't even run a top hook. I mean, these guys are out here just running straight bottom hook on the jig. So if you want to leave both, it's fine. I will it affect your hookup ratio a little bit? Probably. You know, if you're not running both. If the jig's small enough, the top hooks are probably fine. If you're running an ogre, like this one, they come with the top and the bottom hook, I'd probably just leave them. Benji Kim says, yeah, dude, surf fishing's fire right now, too. So there you go, guys. Go ahead and get on them. Yeah, I would just leave them how they were, because like even like our 130, they only come with the top hooks. So I just leave it like that. They don't even come with the bottom hooks. If you're fishing for tuna, throw a bottom hook on because you can use this jig for tuna as well. I would probably do just one top, one bottom. For like our 50 or like our 20 grams up through 60 grams, they got the two hooks on each side. You don't necessarily need the bottom hook if you're fishing docks and stuff, if you're worried about getting them snagged, but I think it does help the hookup ratio of structure and of fish too. So, um, yeah, you can just fish them out of the package on the San Diego. Oh, nice. That was just a day trip then. Yeah, dude, San Diego always kills it. That's awesome. Got to get me another pumpkin color, bro. That thing's smacked. Yeah, that's what that's what Brian likes. We fish with inside of La Jolla. Second person that's told me within miles that they've been really close to shore. They've been catching fish. That's crazy, dude. So you guys, I'm guessing we're like just north of the 9 or like the. That's cool, man. I've caught Sacramento perch on the 15-gram assess. You did? You didn't send us any pictures? Maybe you did. And I just didn't know what a Sacramento perch was. Hitting the surf tomorrow? Heck yeah, man. That's awesome. Real time, the bite should be good, man. Spot fin or hitting. I got to get out. I got waiters, so I got to get out there. All right, guys, on Instagram, I'm going to sign off. If you want to join us, come join us on YouTube. Later. Yeah, I'm going out on I'll be out on a 2.5 day Friday. So Friday through Monday. So Friday, Saturday, Sunday, I'll be out. Probably looking for tuna, doing a sponsored trip on the Aztec. So that'll be good. Right? That's what I'm talking about. You guys should be out there slamming them. They're there, dude. They're there. All right, guys, that's it for news, fish reports. Thank you for all the insight from the chat, getting after it. So let's see, man, I got tons of notes here. So good to give you guys kind of the state of address, what's going on in my life, what's going on with the show. There's going to be some changes. Tyler, Dylan, what's going on, man? Glad you could join us. Yeah, we'll talk about it a little bit. Some of you guys, this won't be news to you. You're in the know. Some of you guys that are close to me know some of this stuff that's going on. None of it is negative or bad. It's just different changes. So, I'm moving to Florida. So this is my last week as a Californian. Next Thursday, I'm moving. I won't be in California anymore physically. So, I mean, that's something that's going down. As far as like the submission jigs go, none of that changes. Right? They're still sold in tackle stores. As far as that goes, the only thing that changes is just the shipping address. That's all the same stuff. They'll be shipped out. Nothing changes. They'll still be in tackle stores. We're still pushing it, everything like that. But yeah, I'll be moving out to Florida. Those of you guys know I've had a house in Florida for a couple years now, and I would going back and forth. I used to do some live shows from Florida as well, and then I bought another place out there. So looks like I'll be moving there full time. So that's a little bit different as far as I guess what happens with the show. So that'll be probably the biggest change is what do we do as far as the show goes? The show probably is not going to continue. Corey King, boo. Yeah, man, next week. So I fly out. I mean, I'm gone the 29th. I'm out of here. So next week is, I think, next Thursday. Everything's shut off. Everything. I mean, all this stuff will be taken down. This is sort of like the last remaining stuff in my house. Yeah, we're going to Florida. And the only difference is as far as the show, it's going to continue, but it'll probably continue in a traditional podcast forum. I can do a live show, but the problem is we've got the time difference. And I used to do the live when I was out in Florida, I would do the time difference, and that was okay, because you're still acclimated to the West Coast time. Like I'd be up to like 11, 12 o'clock. It wasn't a big deal. But I think as I'm out there and I'm actually living out there, it's going to be a little different as far as I probably won't be able to do a live show at 10 p.m. That's usually when we're rolling up and stuff like that. So I don't know if it'll likely be a podcast. in a more traditional forum that will still be a podcast on a video like this. I'll have guests, stuff like that, and I'll either release it. We can do like Thursdays and do a premiere where people can still come in, or at least we'll still put one up so we have it. We're still going to have the guest. We'll still have the talk. So the podcast will still exist, but I don't know how it'll look in the live format. In the short term, there's probably going to be um, probably a week, probably two or 3 weeks where nothing's happening. As I move, there's nothing. I'm gonna go out there. I got to wait for shipments and stuff like that. So life's gonna be in limbo for a couple weeks. Same thing goes with orders as well. They'll probably be backed up for a couple weeks. We're getting the ones we have out now, but yeah, then they'll be late. And it's not like I'm leaving like totally, because I still own property here. I still have family here. I'll still come out to fish. It's not like it's a forever goodbye to California, you know? Yeah, there'll still be a show. It'll just be different. Or I just record one. I can do it live earlier, but then it would be so early here. And then it'd be sort of the same thing where you guys would catch the replay and stuff like that. So it's hard to say. Jeremy said, dang, I just started to really get into this. Really wish I made the submission fishing trip. Yeah, but like things like that will still pretty much go on. I mean, we'll still do the submission at sea here on the West Coast. It's not like some of that stuff has to change. There's no reason why we have to drop submissions at sea and stuff like that. My uncle caught a nice coho salmon on the 60-gram assassin while rock fishing up here in Oregon. He just made an order for more. That's awesome. Yeah, I saw somebody with your same last name. I thought that was your father. So that's your uncle. That's cool, dude. Yeah, somebody else has been catching the coho on that. Bummer for the slow cow peeps. Yeah, man. What's going on, Josh? Yeah, so it's still up in the air. I don't know if I'll probably, like, I can still release the show um on Thursdays and stuff like that. So it's a thing where we can still record it, and then I'll put it on Spotify and stuff like that. So it'll be like a more traditional format show, but we can still do it live on YouTube and stuff like that. Yeah, see you for the Daytona. So we moving to Jacksonville, by the way. Um so let's see here. Yeah, nothing changes as far as submission fishing going. And some of the things that just like we have to, like, one of the things is we want to get the submission brand growing too. Um and California is huge, and there's lots of great fishermen out here, and you guys are pushing it, and we're going to push it hard. None of that is going to change, but we're also going to try to um, grow it in Florida as well. Florida is a big market, and really, if I got to get it to grow, it's like part of that has to be getting the business out of California. A lot of that is tax rates. It's so hard to grow business in California. I have multiple businesses here. I have through the years, and it's just not easy. Every year it gets harder and harder. Taxes, you just get raped on. It's hard making a profit with manageable prices while running a business here. So, I mean, Florida it's a lot more friendly to businesses, a lot more opportunity to grow, I think, as far as if we're going to make a push on this thing, it's got to be Florida and California are the two coasts, so that's where we got to go. Like, just for example, in California, it's like just just to be an entity or have an LLC in California, it costs $800 a year, just every year, just to be a business in California for no reason. They're just like, okay, every year you've got a company, like $800 right off the top every single time, and you own multiple businesses. I mean, that stacks up quick. I mean, we probably pay just every year, I mean, upwards of $5,000 just in LLC taxes every single year just to be a business in California. So it's really hampering the growth. And you guys know it's so competitive. This market is like, we got to get out here, and we're competing with these big companies. And a lot of these guys are big conglomerates. Pure Fishing pretty much owns everything. I mean, they're Berkeley, Penn. They bought up Savage Gear. They're in so many of your products. Daiwa, Shimano. Uh, Even they don't just make reels and rods. They make tackle, and it's hard for smaller companies to really get in. So for us to be competitive and really make a push, it's got to be something we do. It's something I want to go all in on and really push on. So it's got to be the choice. Plus, Florida's got great fishing. I mean, that's the one thing that they're also put it over the top as well. You know, it's like what other me and Kevin from Fishing Reps talked about this, right? It's like what's the one market? Um, Everybody fishes in Florida. It's a huge market, but it's also super competitive. Slow pitch jigging is already big there. We were late to the party here in California, so it's definitely gonna be an uphill battle. But we're gonna go out there swinging, uh, doing our best to definitely get it done. Submit a gator for freer state. Lots of stuff that makes Florida more desirable. Yeah. Do a little something with Johnny Jigs. Yeah, I've chatted with them a little bit on Instagram too, back and forth. I remember when they came out here, they hit me up on Instagram when they were doing their let me know they were in town doing bluefin and stuff like that. So I thought it was pretty cool. um, yeah, and then there's just other decisions I had to make as far as leaving. I've lived here my whole life, 41 years. I love California. Geographically, I love it anyways. It's been great, but one of the other big things too is I have a child now as well. I've got a 1 year old daughter. I think she's 14 months old. Before, when it was me and my wife, it wasn't a big deal. Like, we can put up with all the nonsense, all the craziness, but um, all the stuff coming down the pipeline where the state really wants to control, how you raise your children and stuff like that, and it honestly got to a point where I don't think I can raise a child in California without having the state involved in how we raise her, and like how it's done. So that was also just another big determining factor is, unfortunately, they just want to be in everybody's business, and that kind of sucks. So you just got to move on. I got to take her somewhere where I'm not worried about the state snatching one of my children away because we have uh, different views and ideologies on things. So that was also a major factor for sure. And that's too bad. If it was just me and my wife, we'd probably still be here, to be honest with you. But now that we got the little one, it's like it's really hard to stay. All the nonsense that goes on, it really, for those of you with one kids here, like young kids here, it's crazy. When you got older kids, man, you guys made it. You made it out of the craziness. Your kid's gone, and it's good to see. Yeah, let the empire begin. Yeah, but all in all, guys, I just want you to know it's not like a forever goodbye. We're still going to continue. We're still going to go. Um, and nothing really changes on that end. But just so you guys know, in the next few weeks, if you're not seeing the live show and stuff like that, you know what's going on. I'm still connected to California. We're still doing business here. We're still doing the spotty game and the tuna game. We're still going to charter boats. All that stuff's going to happen. It's just a matter of hopping on a plane and coming out here and doing those things. Um, Never abandon California. I'm still a staunch supporter of everything goes on here. Before I leave, I even talked to my wife. Um, I'm gonna get my lifetime membership to the CCA. Even though I'm not here, it's like I'm gonna drop the $1,000 on that thing, just for solidarity and support. Just letting you guys know, like, I'll never stop the fight. We'll never stop the news here. Checking what's going on. Well, if something's going down, I'm still gonna bring it up. I'm still gonna follow it. It's not um, like we're just walking away. I'll always support the CCA whenever they need product and stuff for sponsorships. We'll always be there. In anything they need, we're always pushing that fight for sure. I'm getting it's not you, it's me feeling. Pretty much is, man. You're not gonna change California. It's like it's got to be me. It's like I do have to go. I don't blame you, bro. I'm raising a 15-year-old in this crazy state, and it's crossed my mind. Yeah, and you guys with the older children, it's not so bad. It's like you've made it, but I've got to look at. I've been here for 41 years. Um, And like I said, if it was just me and my wife, it wouldn't be a big deal. But it's like I see the stuff that's happening, and it's like my daughter's young. Like, what's going to be in another when she's 10, 11, 12, 15? That's another decade. Like, I can't even imagine what it's going to be like here. It's just crazy. I don't know. I just want to go somewhere where she's left alone. We can make choices, um, and I don't have to worry about it. Crazy. Yeah, man. We're gonna do the lifetime membership. Yeah, we're always going to support CCA and stuff. That's the thing. So I don't want you guys to get the vibe like, oh, I'm walking away and stuff like that. We'll always use it. Yeah, use the tax savings on that thing. That's funny. Yeah, I will probably need somewhere to stay because I definitely plan to come down. We're gonna come smash the tuna. We're gonna come in when the dodos run, and the fishing and stuff like that. So it's not like I'm never gonna show up here again. Thanks, man. I really appreciate you guys, man. Appreciate the love. It was hard. Some of you guys knew this already, but I try to keep it under wraps. Just because it's like it's a hard thing to talk about. Nobody wants to leave. I don't want it to seem like, oh, you just hate it here and you have to go. It's just different opportunities and stuff like that. And we're uprooting everything. It's crazy. We're just decided to sell our house, operate our businesses remotely. It's pretty crazy. Benji said, "Appreciate you, Mike. Wish we met sooner. Put the blessings on the future. Admire your hustle and use." Yeah, I appreciate it, Benji. Yeah, it was crazy. Me and Benji just met like a couple weeks ago, and that's what happens, dude. It's all good. We got to get fish. Like I've still got a couple days next week, so if you got any like days Monday, I'll be fishing. But yeah, even like Tuesday, Wednesday, dude, hit me up. I'd love to get out with you. Maybe one more time. Yeah, it's crazy. Especially if your kids are going to the public school. Like that's nuts, dude. I mean, my daughter will never see, even in Florida, she's not going to a public school. She'll be homeschooled for sure, or go to like a private school or something. But it's just, man, nuts. And then also there is the other aspect of that too is as far as jujitsu goes. You guys know that's another passion of mine. Is um, I'm going to be opening a jujitsu gym there. So as you get a black belt, and I teach and stuff like that, one thing you don't want to do is you don't open a gym and then somewhere where it's local, all your old professors and coaches. It's just not something you do. And California is super crowded. There's lots of gyms anyways, but then you don't, like, I'm part of the alliance affiliation, right? So you don't go open another alliance. There's rules against that too about opening stuff within certain diameters. But I've talked to my old coach, and then the head coach of San Diego, and then Carlsbad, and then even the alliance that I train at is a nationwide company, and they've given me their blessing to open an alliance jiu-jitsu in Jacksonville. So that's a big thing too. There's not one in Jacksonville, so it's a big market and opportunity that hasn't been tapped. And it's like we need a black belt out there in the alliance in Jacksonville. So I'm going to go ahead that. I'm probably going to partner up with one of my coaches from here in Carlsbad, and we're going to spearhead that. So, I mean, that was another thing too that also led to the decision, because we're like, if we got to move, we got to do something, right? We can do the fishing and this and that, but looks like the gym. So I'll be able to open my own jiu-jitsu gym in Jacksonville as well. So there's a lot of angles that just all kind of fell in place, mostly business related, as far as the fishing, and then ultimately getting able to do some jiu-jitsu there as well and really open up a gym. So that's super cool. Come on in, man. Come on up. I'm still here for a few days. Go up to Carlsbad, dude, and we'll teach you. Or if you guys ever make your way out to Jacksonville, let me know. Benji said, yeah, Cali passed the 20th Amendment bill in the firearms. Crazy. You taking I'm taking the kayak and the boats. It's crazy, dude. Like I'm like shipping everything, shipping my cars out there, shipping my boat out there. But yeah, so luckily, I was pretty fortunate. My house out there is, and all you guys are welcome to come if you guys are ever out there. There's an apartment like built onto my house that you can stay. We'll probably use it as like short-term rentals and like for guests and stuff like that. So there's a whole separate attachment onto my house, where people can live. The home that I bought it's a fixer upper. It's an older home. It's in Jacksonville, but it's got 190 feet of riverfront on the St. Johns River. So you can access the river. It's a little ways out. You can make it up to the Atlantic. You can go south. You put a dock there. Like you literally launch the boat. Kevin's been staying at my house. He literally just hops on his kayak from my backyard. So there's a seawall right there. He just steps down to his kayak and he goes and fishes, gets on these bull reds and getting on the redfish. He's hooking tarpon and all kinds of crazy stuff just from our backyard. So that was one of the things too. We had this property come up and you can literally just cast from the backyard. He sent me pictures where there's just like mullet just running like crazy, um, big redfish out there. There's pretty much everything. So um, that was a big thing too. I can just literally step on a kayak, pull it back up, bring the boat up to the dock, hop on the boat, just go back and forth, and I don't have to launch anywhere. Do all this crazy stuff. So um, that was definitely a super cool perk too. So, and if you guys are gonna make it out to Florida, let me know. If you're gonna be in Jacksonville, like I said, you come stay with me. I got places to stay. We can go fish. Surf fishing there is fire. Pompano, dude, it's nuts. Like it's crazy. Yeah, it's gonna be crazy. If you guys watch fishing reps, he's already been out there, so he's been staying. So Kevin is like, and I had an Instagram story from Steve. He wanted to know where's Kevin. He was asking, and Kevin's been in Florida, so he runs fishing reps. He reps all of our stuff, baits, reels, kicker jigs. Myself, war baits, and he's been out there ahead of time, um, catching redfish and tarpon, and just getting ahead of the system, trying to meet people. It's an uphill battle, man. They hate Californians out there, so it's not like we're going to go out there and smash right away. It's going to take some time, man. People don't want to know you're from California. It's nuts. I don't blame them, to be honest with you. You're going to transition to freshwater out in Florida sooner or later. Yeah, well, I'm on the river, which is like the St. Johns River it's fed by freshwater, but where we are, it's more saltwater. It's like brackish. I live on the end in Jacksonville where it like connects to the Atlantic, so it's more of a brackish water. But yeah, freshwater is definitely the big thing. Check out my chat above. I'm looking. I don't see it, Jesse. You might have to repost it. Yeah, but as far as like the podcast goes and stuff, it'll definitely be um I think we're going to make it kind of more wide. I think I'm going to introduce a lot more freshwater fishing people, surf fishing. We're obviously going to be doing some East Coast fishing and some golf. So we'll try to cover like the whole spectrum of fishing, not just the California stuff or the California stuff, but freshwater California, the Sierras, and just kind of cover everybody and try to just maybe expand it a little bit. We'll always have the bay fishing, and the close stuff. But oh, you were born in Jacksonville. That's crazy. That's awesome. New Pickle Run, SD Jacksonville. Yeah, dude, I'm down. Where would we go? Um, I'm so unfamiliar with that place. I guess we can go from like Jacksonville to St. John's County or something like that. Paddle all the way down to like what is it? St. Augustine. Crazy. Yeah, we could, man. I'm definitely down. And let's see what else we got. So, yeah. So as far as us moving as well, we've got a couple programs and stuff going on. So we're really pushing like our pro staff team. So our here in California, and I've reached out to some of you guys like on Instagram. So if you've gotten some messages from me, basically I'm just trying to put together like a good team of pro staff. Pro staff doesn't mean professional staff. If you guys aren't aware, it basically means promotional staff. So if you guys are like constantly posting my stuff on Instagram and stuff like that, I know I've reached out to a lot of people where you can get a discount on jigs and stuff like that, and you want to be part of the team. I'll um, sponsor tournaments. We get you guys some pro shirts, and just keep posting stuff. And we're making a big push on that. So if that's something you're interested in, let me know. It's just it's not like a free run. It's free to you, but it's not free time wise to join it. It does take a commitment. It does take you going out and fishing the jigs, and so it's a little bit of work. It's definitely being part of the promotional staff. You got to be out there promoting the product and stuff like that. But in the meantime, or in turn, I should say, we try to reward you and get you guys discounts and other benefits and stuff like that. Like I said, sponsoring events and all that. So if you've seen an email, hit me up. Or if you've seen an Instagram, I reached out, email. If it's something that you're into, and you're down to post stuff and you're down to work for it, definitely hit me up. We'll work something out, because in my absence, we're going to still have to hit it hard here. And like I said, I'm still supporting you guys 100%. So yeah, reach out to me if that's something you guys are interested in. And yeah, see, really, I want to build a good team out here. This bunch of black belts, man, out there fishing bays, fishing tuna, and just really getting after it, really slamming the submission jigs and letting them know what we're all about, man. So I don't want to lose sight of that, and I want to keep this market strong with you guys. And also, I need the insight. You know, what's working, what's not working, what needs to change, when I need to come back and revamp some stuff in different colors. So I think it'll be good. Repost. I showed your jigs to Shimano executive from Japan, and they were really impressed, especially with the smaller sizes, since they don't have those in Japan. Yeah, it makes that's funny. They'll be thanks, Jesse. Now we're gonna get the Shimano knockoffs like the Daiwa. I'm just messing with you, man. I appreciate that. That's cool. Yeah, they don't. What's funny is you see like a lot of companies, they'll be like, they go micro jigs, and their micro jig is like 80 gram. Like that's as small as they go, which is crazy. I mean, we're down all the way to 10 grams. A lot of companies don't even make. Very few companies are making 10-gram jigs. Um, some do, but most of the big manufacturers don't really focus on that. It's crazy. Yeah, dude, 100%. That's what I was saying. You're like you're giving them the good idea. The ripoff is coming. That's pretty funny. Yeah, dude. Yeah, you definitely got to get a yak. Kayaks, dude, they change your. Even if you just get like a paddle one, I mean, I recommend the foot pedal one for sure. But even if you just got to get a paddle kayak, it's so much better, dude. That getting off the water, like especially in the bays and stuff, it's huge. Opens up your just your fishing ability. It's crazy. But yeah, so if you guys want to be a part of the team, man, hit me up. And like I said, it's not a free ride. I mean, I do require work from you guys. It's gonna be, and I try to make it mutually beneficial, but I just don't want you guys thinking like, oh yeah, I want to be part of the team, and then nothing happens. It's relying on getting content and making a push. So it's a business transaction for sure. I have contracts written. None of them are binding. Anybody can dip out at any time, but there is guidelines and stuff to doing it. So just be sure if that's something you're interested in, that you're willing to take that on. You know what I mean? And if I don't let you in, it's not a big deal. A lot of guys hit me up, and I ask them to post. I want them to show that they're posting stuff and they want to be a part of it. Because a lot of people hit me up and they just want like free jigs and discounts and stuff, and they really don't have any intentions of helping you out. So if you've got 2 followers and you're like, hey, dude, let me be part of your thing, we may not work it out. I might tell you, hey, dude, let's start making some posts, and then we'll see what happens for sure. The boat is a lot of extra time and money, and the yak will get me out more. Yeah, yeah, the yak's good, dude. The yak's like it's a good starter thing, especially if you're fishing the bays. Like you can't beat a kayak. It's perfect. Offshore is a different story because you're kind of limited. Like you've got La Jolla, you can get out in Carlsbad. Like there are some places you could actually get out of the Oceanside Pier. You can get out on Mission Bay. So there's ways to get out offshore, but it's a bit of a paddle. Like we're doing the pickle run. You can get offshore that way, but it's definitely not as easy. But if you're just fishing bays, dude, it's money. Fishing docks, fishing bays, fishing grass, going up to piers. Kayak is where it's at. It'll change your life, dude. If all you're doing is like fishing from shore, it'll definitely help. Shimano Sumo. Yeah, no, dude, they just make their own. They're not gonna. They don't want nothing to do with me. Listen, these guys are like Shimano Daiwa. They hate people like me. I'm just being honest with you guys. Like I got Shimano reels and stuff. I've got no beef with those guys, but they don't want to see. Um, I take market share from them. Um, they're just being honest with you. Like they're not friendly with us. Some of our small, like us small manufacturers, and as guys trying to come up, like we all get along and stuff like that. But anytime we're taking a bite out of the corporate giant, they just want to put us under. That's just the reality, dude. They don't like us. They don't want to. They only want to smash us. They in no world want to do like collaborations with us or anything, unless I was like a fisherman and they were like they want me to fish their rods or sell me jigs. I mean, that's one thing, but yeah, they've got their own line of jigs, and anybody taking a bite out of their profits, yeah, they don't want any part of, man. It'd be cool if they did, but it's not realistic. Is the correct way? Here we go. We'll get back to some fishing talk. Is the correct way to tie the sumo on the split ring? Um, I mean, there's not like a super correct way. If I usually run a clip to the actual to the eye, and then a lot of people just tie to the eye. But yeah, you can tie like a traditional kind of Japanese way would be to tie to the split ring, and that's not wrong at all. Um, but I'm usually running clips, and then I just run a clip to the jig itself. So if I'm running an extra solid ring instead of a clip, then I'll do solid ring, and then I'll just put this onto the split ring. So what I do is I just put a solid steel ring onto the fishing line and leave it there, and then I switch the jigs with the pair of split ring pliers on and off the solid ring, which is in essence tying to the split ring. But yeah, you can tie to the split ring. A lot of people just tie it straight to the jig itself too. It's kind of your preference, whatever you think. Some people think tying to the like to the split ring and stuff is a lot of people don't tie to the eye because they think it hampers some of the action. I don't know if that's true or not. Or if you're running a clip or you tie to the split ring, it kind of makes sense, right? It's a lot more free because the line is never touching the jig itself. So the jig gets to move and do its thing. I've heard the theory if you tie to the jig, your jig is attached to the line. It doesn't move as freely. Um, is it affected that much? I don't know. Makes sense. I mean the theory makes sense to me. So I would go ring to the split ring, or I would go clip to the eye, and you probably can't go wrong. If you need help, man, in the show booth, let me know. Yeah, I mean, I definitely gonna probably need some help for sure for the PCS. Are you coming back to the pickle? I won't, dude. I won't be here for the pickle run. I think it's too short of a turnaround because I'm moving. I'm leaving the 29th, and I'm going up to Palm Desert because basically I'm leaving. All my stuff's getting packed. And then we're gonna go stay with Jessica's parents' house, and we technically leave California. So I'm leaving San Diego the 29th, but then we're leaving California. I think the second, October 2nd. And I've got so much work to do out there. I unfortunately won't be able to make the pickle run. For those of you guys that don't know, the pickle run is going on. It's where I've done it the last 2 years. This is the third year. These guys launch kayaks from Mission Bay all the way down to San Diego Bay, and you go back and forth picking up each other's vehicles and stuff. Super fun. If you guys haven't done it, I really recommend you get in touch with these guys and do the pickle run. It's open to everybody. It's a great time. It's challenging physically, but it's lots of good fishing. You get to fish the kelp beds all up and down um, Point Loma, and stuff like that. It's a lot of fun. Let's definitely check that out. Sammy Prum, Oos, welcome to the show. Glad you could join us. Yeah, Sammy, we're just talking about the pro staff stuff. So I just saw your email. That's good stuff. But yeah, I mean, that's pretty much in a nutshell what's going on. If you guys got any questions or anything, I mean, just hit me up, let me know. And like I said, it's definitely not the end. It's just a change. Just a change is all. We'll still be back. I still plan on doing submission at sea, flying down and doing that here. If I can get a big enough audience in Florida, I'll set something up out there. Not really party boats out there though, so it's kind of a different world. But um, also, I'd love to fish with you guys out there. That's ultimately, I think the end game would be awesome is having you guys learn the fishery out there. Kevin's been out there learning it. Check out Fishing Rep's channel, dude. He's been slamming the redfish and everything else and the tarpon. But I'd love to have you guys come visit and set up adventures and trips and just do all kinds of fishing out in Florida. I think it would be totally awesome. I need to post on social media more. Been slacking. Yeah, I mean, these you don't need to. It all depends what your end game is. Tie a loop knot. Yeah, that works too. Jesse, you're 100% correct. Loop knot definitely works. So many ways to do it. I meant assassin. Doesn't matter. Assassin, sumo, tie them the same way. It's all the same thing. You know what I'm really gonna miss is the Captain Dan pineapple pizza. Yeah, the little pies or the fry. I don't know, dude. The chicken wings were pretty good last year. What else did we have? Hot dogs, chicken wings in a bag. So Captain, we when the pickle run last year, Captain Dan, he was on the. I was on my boat too. Actually, I did do the kayak the first year, and we do have a couple people on the boats just for like safety and stuff like that. And Captain Dan always comes out on his boat, and he was tossing everybody little pies and chicken wings and making hot dogs, and it was super cool. It's always a good time, man. It's great. I'm gonna be in Florida at the end of October. What part of Florida are you going to, Dave? I mean, I know I'm up like northeast, so if you're down like Miami, that's probably not anywhere near the same area. But aside from that, it's not as big as like California. Like I can get to the Gulf and the other end like in a couple hours. It's not like a huge thing. Miami's pretty far. Like going south is pretty far. I've seen some videos where they attach hooks and line to solid ring and then solid ring to split ring and then split ring to the split ring of the jig if the split ring breaks. Yes. Dude, you've been studying. Yeah, you're 100% correct. That's like that's a hack for like bigger fish when you're using micro jigs. And I've talked about this. Look at I've got one of these tied up and I didn't even know that on my desk. So a lot of times you can do so this one is added. You would tie this extra solid ring to the line itself. So the split ring is attached to the lure. So what happens is if something happened and you lost the lure or the jig or you're still attached to the hooks themselves and then you're not using the jig at all to fight the fish. That's really the beneficial thing is that the jig is only providing the motion, but then when you're bit, it essentially takes the jig out of the equation and then you're just fighting the fish with the hooks, which yeah, really makes it a lot easier. Also, another hack is you just leave this. A lot of times I'll like when I'm going offshore fishing this week, so Friday through Sunday I'll be out for 3 days fishing. I'll leave this just tied up on my rod, just like this. And then I'll switch the jigs accordingly. So if I want um, like an 80-gram ogre, or I want a 220-gram javelin, or a 130 javelin, or a 400 ogre, I leave the hook on top, and then I just switch the jigs accordingly. And you can leave a bottom hook on the jig, but that way you're never having to switch the jig back and forth. All I'm doing is changing the jig itself to the split ring. Save you lots of time, and then you don't have to worry about it either. But if you want to fight like a tuna on a micro jig, so say you want to use like a 40-gram or even smaller, if you think tuna or bigger fish are on um, the smaller baits, what you don't want to do is have them bite this bottom. This hardware is just that's not going to hold up to a tuna. You know the eye on this thing. So what you would do is what you're talking about: put a split ring onto the hook, onto a bigger hook. So when they bite the jig, you're not fighting the jig at all. You're not worried about failure on the wire inside the jig, and then you're good to go. So just keep that in mind. If you're going to use a micro jig, do split ring with a heavier duty hook, and you don't rely on the jig to pull in the fish. The bigger ones are fine. The ogres, I mean, and the ogres and the samurais I make, dude, these things are oversized. You're not bending the steel on these. They're through wire. You can put a hook on the end of these, and you're not going to have any problem. But with the smaller ones, yeah, I don't know if I'd roll the dice on that. You're even good too. These are fine too. Even like the 130s and up, super heavy duty, oversized rings, you're going to be fine. There's so much technical stuff in jigging. It's crazy. So many ways to get them. Orlando. Oh yeah, that's pretty close. I think that's like 2 hours, maybe less than 2 hours. Hour and 45 minutes or something like that. Yeah, Orlando's not bad. MMFC Florida chapter. Yeah, dude, I don't see why not. Now we got our foot in the door, 100%. Oh yeah, dude, I'm like, you know me. Gabe knows mayo on hot dog is the bomb. Dude, 100%. I'm definitely team mayonnaise. That's no lie. I may be in Orlando in late November. Well, yeah, if you guys got extra time, you want to hit me up and you make your way up to Jacksonville. I forget there was a Florida or Orlando. There was an airport there, right? Because I always fly into Jacksonville, and then like I would drive to Orlando. But yeah, if you guys want to make your way north, do a day of fishing or something like that, definitely hit me up. We've got extra kayak because, like I said, Kevin's been out there. So Kevin's been staying at my house out there. So I bought a newer house. I own a house in St. Augustine, and then I own a house in Jacksonville. My house in Jacksonville has been vacant. Like we closed on it, I think in August. It was like 2 months ago. So it's just been sitting there vacant. Kevin's been there for like a month or 2 months, basically just like sleep. He drove out there with a mattress. He put two kayaks on the top of his van. So he's got like two Hobies. He brought rods. He's literally just been like sleeping on a mattress, hitting tackle stores, fishing, doing the grind. So I'm bringing my Hobie, and Kevin's got two. So we do have an extra one. We got plenty of extra kayaks up there. So if you guys want to hit the St. Johns River, get on some redfish, dude. Kevin's already on them. He knows where they're at. So we can definitely go up there and slay. Should be fun. So I got you covered, man. You guys want to stop by? We got the goods. The Johnny Jig, Florida. They're slow pitch fan. Actually, yeah, I think they're in like the Miami area. A lot of those guys are. I think like Johnny Jig, Jig Pro. I think they're like South Miami guys, which is why up where I'm in North is pretty good because we got their big thing is like a lot of like snapper fishing, tile fish, and stuff like that. So I'm excited. I mean, there's real legit red snapper right out there in Jacksonville. So we've got the St. Johns River, which is like kind of our bays. You know, we got San Diego Bay. It's like a bigger bay, but there's redfish and flounder, black drum, mangrove snapper. There's like snook, it's freaking everything. I think sea trout, king mackerel. And then as you go offshore, like the rock, they don't have rockfish obviously, but there's like red snapper, and then super deep there's like tilefish. They got mahi, amberjack, which is like a yellowtail. I think they get like blackfin tuna, um, big barracuda, stuff like that. So definitely a different fishery, but it's similar in like there's kind of the bay fish, and then there's um, the outdoor stuff. The difference is the bay or the river, dude. Straight up 50-pound fish in the St. John River, like no problem. The bull reds, and the tarpon, freaking massive, which is crazy. And we're talking in like 10, 15 feet of water. You just fighting just huge fish. It's nuts. I'm definitely excited about that for sure. Yeah, lionfish, which everybody's trying to get rid of. They're like the nuisance. Yeah, talking about like from the beginning of the show, the invasive species. Definitely the lionfish falls into that category. Apparently, they've been like trying to teach other fish and like sea lions and dolphins and stuff to like eat the lionfish, and they're trying to like get a like the local markets and people to eat them. So they're trying to bring awareness about eating lionfish because they're like such a problem that they're trying to get people to keep them and catch them and eat them to actually thin it out. It's a pretty interesting initiative. I was watching sort of like a documentary on, I don't want to say Discovery. It was on YouTube, I think. I was gonna see if I can stay an extra day, maybe run up and fish with Kevin. So what day are you gonna be up there? Oh yeah, end of October. I'll be there, dude. So yeah, me and Kevin will be there. I'd love to have you, dude. We'll go sleigh for sure. Like I said, I've got an extra room, or if you want to stay in St. Augustine, I have. So my place in St. Augustine's an Airbnb, so it's like it's already done up. Technically, I'm gonna go stay. So I'm waiting for like our pods, right? We're shipping the pods, so I'm gonna go stay in St. Augustine. It's an hour away from Jacksonville, so I have a furnished house. So I'm gonna stay in my house in St. Augustine for like 2 weeks. Wait for the pods and the cars and everything to arrive in Jacksonville. Then I'll go up in Jacksonville, unpack, try to get the house ready. But and it's gonna be a lot. The house I bought in Jacksonville needs a lot of work, dude. It's a fixer up. It's an awesome house. It's big. It's on the river, but we got a great price on it. But it legit needs like almost like a full. It needs like a full remodel. It's got like a green kitchen from the '60s. It's crazy. It needs a ton of work. Yeah, dude, that'd be awesome. Like I said, we got the extra kayak, dude. Plus, my boat will be out there too, actually. So my boat should arrive by then as well. So if you want to go offshore, we'll go hit some snapper, or even just take the boat out. See if we can get some bull reds in the middle of the river. Also, tying to the solid ring prevents any rubbing or catching the line. Yeah, that's true. It's good advice. Yeah, that's what I hear. I mean, they're trying to get people to eat them. Yeah, they are poisonous. I don't know if they're any more poisonous than like the sculpin. I mean, because we eat sculpin too. I think if you cut the spines off, I don't think it's an issue. I mean, I don't want to say for sure. I'm not a lionfish expert, but I think it's. I don't think they're deadly poison, at least not to us. I think they're on like sculpin level. I could be wrong about that, but I don't think they'd be encouraging people to catch them and eat them if they were like super dangerous. You probably just have to handle them with care, like anything, which is crazy. Yeah, guys, but if you have, I mean, that's pretty much all I got. If you guys have any more questions or anything, let me know. Um, like I said, I'm open to suggestions as far as the show goes. Like I said, the first couple weeks I could probably still do a live, um, but I think once I acclimate to the time change, I just don't think 10 is feasible. Um, so I'm thinking just like a traditional podcast. We can figure out. I would do it in video form and then release it here on YouTube, or I just do the live there at like an earlier time, but it would be super early here. Whether you guys catch it or not, it would still upload and you can watch it later. But if you guys were around earlier, you could still tune in and watch it. So, I mean, that's definitely an option too. Obviously, the live show is cool because we get the interaction and stuff. I get to talk to you guys. So, podcast would probably be shorter some days, longer than others. I probably definitely need like a co-host on each one, just so we can talk back and forth and bounce ideas and stuff off of each other. Thank you, Sammy. Appreciate it. Whole fried lionfish would look rad on a plate. It would be pretty badass. Right? We're gonna start selling lionfish. I don't know if they take hook. I always see people like diving and spearing them. So I don't know if they like. I don't know if you can catch them online. I don't know, dude. I know so little about like Florida fishing, to be honest with you. My goal is, if we want to go a little further, is I want to catch a lot of the inland fish, the river fish, the bay fish on the micro jigs. My ultimate vision is kind of what we did for the spotted bay bass and the bay fishing here with the micro jigs. We started with the 20 grams, then we moved to 10 and 15 gram. Nobody was catching spotties on this stuff. Nobody was vertical fishing them. Nobody was fishing the docks and the pilings like we were. And it really started like a pretty much a whole new way to like catch this spotties and sand bass and stuff like that up until a few years ago. Um, and it was really you guys, the MMFC, that really helped popularize it. And I really want to kind of go do that in Florida, prove that these things work in a beneficial way, um, to go catch redfish and mangrove snapper and stuff like that, and kind of tap into that market of micro jigging for really the inshore fish over there. That's like my kind of my push and my goal. We know that the other stuff, we know the snappers eat the big jigs, and we know the offshore fish eat the jigs. That's what those guys are all about over there, is that 200-300 gram jig. That's their bread and butter, but really to show micro jigs and the inshore stuff is, I want to go see. I want to kind of prove that theory and see if we can get on them and kind of get people away from the live bait. Live bait is huge in Florida. Um, and cut bait, it's so easy. You can cast nets. Netting's legal, so there's not the barrier to entry to catching bait like there is here. You can just stand on the side, go over a dock, and throw a cast net and get bait. So um, a lot of people do that, but if we can show the benefits of skipping that step, not having to get bait and just fish artificials and get bit, I mean, that's kind of what I want to show out there. You can buy some of these metal jigs and you don't have to stop for anything else. You don't have to keep rebaiting. You can just catch on artificials. So it'll be a different world for sure. Uphill battle, but I'm definitely looking forward to the challenge. Yeah, I mean that's the plan. I mean, I don't see why I wouldn't. Like I said, it's not like, definitely not abandoning California at all. We're still pushing hard on this market. Still my hometown. You guys are the bread and butter, the spotty fishing, the offshore stuff. Yeah, that's not going anywhere. We got all the black belts out here getting it done. But yeah, definitely plan on being at PCS. figuring out those logistics. We'll worry about that when the time comes. But yeah, I definitely plan on being there for sure. I was diving in Guam and I was about to touch the spike on one, and my dive partner damn near flipped out. So maybe they are pretty bad. You don't really know. When's the fish submission fishing newsletter? I didn't really thought about that. That's something you guys interested in. I'd be down for it. It'd be good stuff. Anyways, guys, I really appreciate y'all. Thanks for joining. So if you don't see a live for the next couple weeks, I'm literally going to be at a point where maybe, I don't know, maybe next week I do it something on my phone. Like stuff's being packed. I'm going to be in this house like with literally nothing in it for like a day or two, sleeping on suitcases on a floor. It's crazy. I'm having cars shipped. So for a little while, it's going to be, I'm living out of rental cars and stuff like that and on planes. And then even when I get there, I'm not going to have too much stuff. So if you don't see anything, don't worry. We'll be back, whether it's live or whether it's some other format. If you guys want to be part of the pro team, let me know. For those of you, I reached out to some of you guys that I want to be a part of the thing. And so hit me up on email. We can get all that sorted out. And then, yeah, I think it'd be good. I love all you guys. I appreciate you. Certainly not the end, just the beginning, and just the new chapter, new phase in the submission fishing world. And ultimately, it's all about fishing, and that's not going to change. And we're just going to keep pushing forward, keep fishing, keep doing what we love, keep spreading the love, and I think it'll be good, guys. Thanks for listening. Love you all. You can go back and watch the game if it's still on. All right, guys. Oos.